So this one might be a bit of a shorter one. So don't be surprised if we don't go to like midnight. But let's get into it. So let me really quick remind myself of what day we're on. What year is it?
Wake up from it's just like waking up from a long rest and you don't know where you are, what time it is.
I believe it is still the 8th of Sun's Height. It's still the same day that you guys have returned from Karst. So, where we left off, it is the 8th of Sun's Height. You've just finished talking with Malik, who has told you a little bit about the situation in Savaria, and things have not gone well. The city is in a state of martial law. The Legion of Light, which is the military of Illyria, is currently patrolling the streets, and a great deal of people have fled the city. But you know that an old friend, Valens Bardanes, the armor smith that you rescued from the sewers of Savaria,
Wait, what?
2 months previous. Yeah. Valens.
Valens.
I didn't none of us rescued anybody from the sewers.
Oh, not us. We didn't.
Not us.
No, but you as players.
Oh.
But you know of a Valens Bardanes, I guess, or you may not even know his last name. Yes, Valens, who has been inciting we'll say rebellion in the city, and has perpetrated a street war of sorts against the jackals, claiming the injustices of the government and their inaction. So he has taken things into his own hands, as Malik has reported to you. And that's where we'll pick up. You are currently in the Sylvian Manor. It is in the early afternoon. And Malik, I'll also mention, has told you that Adari is in the city, who is the founder and leader of Vox Libertatis. So, what would you like to do?
I have used up my high level spells for sending, so what do you guys think? Is it a good idea to maybe go out in the street if we get into trouble, or should we just wait till tomorrow?
What time is it?
Early afternoon. Or do you need a specific time?
No, just early afternoon's enough, thanks.
We got a few options here. We can talk to our old friend, see what she has to say about Vox Libertatis and what she wants to do. Could talk to the Burdanes and see if they need help with the war with the jackals. Or could we leave and go back to the capital?
What do you want to do, Janus?
I honestly don't know. There's... Obviously, the jackals are bad and need to be dealt with. But at the same time, we don't need to be stepping on any toes with Vox Libertatis. I think we need more information, really.
I'm good with whatever you guys decide. Since I'm new to this whole thing.
It does occur to me if we can be subtle. Nobody necessarily needs to know who is stepping on whose toes.
Mhm. We could split into teams of two. Two people go. What was the name of the woman who leads Vodka or taught us again? It's been so long.
Yep. Adari.
Adar, yes.
Yeah.
Could split up into teams of two. Two people go talk to Adari. Two people go talk to the Bourdains, I think they were. And then meet back here.
Well, I know who Adari. Janus, you and I know Elyswen. Just trying to remember everyone who's met her.
Mhm.
I don't think I ever did.
I think
You did.
You
Did
did.
I? No, because
No,
Sam
Sam
I don't
did.
think I did. Yeah, Sam did. It was
Mhm.
That was right at the transition, and she
Did
didn't
we
want to talk to
come
us
back?
anymore.
Oh, really? Okay.
We came back and we dealt exclusively with Faye.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was under close scrutiny and could not talk with suspicious individuals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were gross friends that she could not be
Mhm.
seen with in public, or it would tarnish her
Yep.
political career.
Okay, well,
We could.
Janus, you met her though.
Yes, I did, and I think I met the Bourdains briefly.
Oh, right. Oh my goodness.
One of the Bourdains.
One of the Bourdains, yes.
And then,
Okay. Well, I guess we need to split up. So one person with me and then one person with Janus.
Mhm.
Because we know these people. I don't know if Elyswen knows the Bourdains. I don't think you went there last time we were through town.
did not.
I know
I don't
Alveryn.
think.
Alveryn did. But
Alveryn did.
Sammy! We gotta go see Sammy!
Where's Sammy?
Oh, that's right. We've got a
Yeah.
beautiful bison to
Sammy.
feed.
And all our inventory.
And our
Oh.
entire store.
Okay. I will go with Katarina, and we will go take care of that, and go see the Bourdains, because that's going to be her stuff, and it's probably going to be closest to their spot, which is on the side of town that we did do the. Oh my goodness! I'm just reading all these names again. The Barda Kiln. Oh my gosh. The warehouse. Hines Grove. Hines Grove is where we left. Oh no, was it produce? The produce markets. Produce markets in Cloudcrest is where we left Sammy, I believe.
We didn't just park him there, did we?
We asked Malik to take care of him. And Malik said he would take care of
Oh,
him.
then we should go ask Malik, and then we'll go.
So, is Adari all the way in wherever?
She's in town. I don't know
Okay.
where she is. We should go talk to Malik, ask where she is, and where Sammy is, and then we can go.
And where the Bourdain is.
I know where the
I-
Bourdains is.
Presuming
real
he's still
quick,
at his old place.
Assuming.
Real quick. Last time we were here, it's just something I think our characters would remember that we might not necessarily. I kind of remember distinctly a pretty strong turning away by basically everybody except Bourdains from inciting an actual violent riot throughout the city to deal with the jackals. I know we kind of pioneered that, but it wasn't cool anymore.
Yeah.
So should we be trying to help him out, or should we be trying to talk him down?
I think we should figure out where he's at.
That's a good starting point.
Mm-hmm. So we need
When
to
we
go.
find that.
Are we still in the same room with Malik, Zach?
No, not currently.
Okay. We need to go ask Malik some questions then.
Yeah, should we go loop him in to what our thoughts are?
Yep. That's the first step. Let's go. We'll walk through the manor. Looking for Malik.
Okay. You walk down into like the main entrance hall of the manor, and you actually see Malik as he's talking to the manservant, who I am blanking on his name, and he's just about to leave.
Was it Claude? Or was it the other one?
Claude was the invisible servant.
Oh.
That's funny.
For some reason, the name Jeeves just popped in my mind. I know that's not it.
Right.
Got this somewhere.
I know.
Caius.
Caius,
Was
yeah.
it
That's it,
Caius?
that's the one.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. You see him talking to Caius, and then turns to leave.
Alec.
Yes.
We have
Is
some.
there something you need?
Yeah, we want to know two things: where Sammy is the first one.
Oh, Sammy's in the stables.
Here, like at the behind the manor, like.
Yes.
Great. With the cart.
Yes. The cart has been pulled back into the storage yard for the Sylvanus merchant ships. So that is down by the docks. But Sammy's here in the stables.
Oh, okay. Are
The wagons were a little too large to store here.
Are we able to get a ticket or something to get those access to it?
Certainly, that's something. He turns to Caius. Would you please get them the slip to recover their goods? Of course. And he gives like a short, kind of stiff bow and then walks off. Well,
Second,
if that was ever... go ahead.
Second question is, where can we meet with Adari?
I was actually just on my way to tell her that you've arrived back in the city.
Oh.
She's been staying in one of the other manors.
Can we come meet with you?
I don't see why not.
Okay. Maybe we should do this all together. We should just...
Might be better that way.
Yeah, that way we don't miss out on anything. Okay. I'm ready to go if everyone else is ready to go.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Then follow me then.
I just remembered Peg and Alvyn fighting in this manner. Just like a few doors down. There's like a hole in the wall. I don't know.
Window that won't
There's
quite
a
shut
window.
properly.
So long ago. That was
Actual blood all over the
Actual
floor.
blood.
Yeah. She was the worst. Alright, we go with Malik.
Alvyn wasn't easy to get along with then either.
True, but she couldn't let it go.
I had just disappeared on you guys for 2 days.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Make nicer characters.
Grot was too sweet of a baby to deal with all of that.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's true. Don't make two chaotic neutral characters in the same campaign when there's only 3 characters. Oh.
Specifically, don't make 2 chaotic neutral characters who are 2 incredibly polar opposite types of chaotic neutral.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, maybe it was they were so similar though. That's why they didn't get along. Because I
No.
know for Peg, she hated how secretive he was because she was freaking secretive.
Yeah,
And
true.
he was just being secretive.
Well, the only real
There was a
difference
part
that
of it that was being more secretive because of how much Peg was trying to pry, but it wasn't to infuriate Peg. It was he was trying to up his secretivity game.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
the real difference, though, was that Peg was lying about her secrets. So it seemed like there was something there. I don't think Alvyn ever would have been interested in figuring anything out.
No,
But-
he was
No.
not interested in prying at all.
No.
Yeah,
Which also infuriated Peg.
Yes, it did.
true.
That's true. Why don't you care about my secrets? Like I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
All I know is
Violate
stole
my
my rocks.
boundaries, damn it.
What, Grot? Somebody stole your rocks?
I said all I know is Alvyn stole my
He
rocks.
did. He stole a shiny rock at one point.
Anyway,
Okay, we go with Malik too.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to update the flippin' map, but man, do I hate the drawing tools in this.
Ooh, a new manor has appeared.
Oh my gosh, stop doing that. Literally have to click out of the tool in order to start a new line.
there's a
Goodness
library.
By the way, I had a question for you guys.
There's a library.
No, we can use that. That's for real.
Yes.
We need that.
So on the voyage here, I started going through some of the old letters that Alveryn had sent, and I found this, and she pulls out
Don't you dare.
a small cut stone with, I believe it was like red and white striations.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
He still had it.
No, she pulled it out of a letter that he had sent.
He sent it to her.
Oh.
So she has it
Aw.
now. And Grot can get it now.
Yep.
Just
Do
all
you
of a
have, do you have
sudden
any
green
idea
hand.
the significance of this?
How did you even get that letter? Oh, it was sent to.
It was
Like,
sent
death.
to me.
I
How
don't
long
know
ago
what
was it
is.
sent?
A couple months ago, I think. Now
I mean,
he was a bit weird in the letter about where he got it, so I was a bit curious.
Where do you say you got it?
He
not
didn't.
uh,
I believe
there's
he used the word acquired.
I'll cast detect magic to see if it's a magical rock.
I believe we already did that.
I know. I'm just checking.
we haven't.
That's
Ox-
true.
Ox
To
has
use your
not.
logic
That's
against
true.
you.
Which is why she's like suspicious. What is this rock? Zach, is this stone magical?
No.
I'd say he needed to trade that for something really valuable. Like we needed something, and he was like, "I can get it," and then
No, he just disappeared, and so did the rock.
well, Grot talked to him about it.
Yeah, and then he said he sent it to someone.
Oh, is that what it was? Grot and I paid a very similar amount of attention during that period of time.
Yeah, no, he told you the truth. He
Okay.
said he sent it to someone.
Man, that went right over my head. Peg would have just like died with that information.
I know. Peg wasn't there.
Anyway,
Mhm.
there's a good chance we haven't exactly been a group for that long. So there's a non-zero chance that none of us actually knew Alveryn when he sent that to you.
I just thought I'd check. She will pocket the stone.
What happened to it?
That's what. Where? Ox never met Grot. Never met Peg.
Oxmet Grot.
No.
No? Did she?
only met Sam.
No, she did. She did.
No.
Oxmet?
No, she didn't.
No,
That's
because
right.
Sam was
Sam
introduced
didn't.
before Ox.
Remember Zone of Truth? What's your name?
Yeah.
Samwell was
Yeah.
It was Sam.
there. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, because Sam and Alveryn were all buddy in that bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
That fight in the
against each other.
sand pit.
Okay,
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway.
sorry.
Oh man.
it's just hard for.
It's a
No
lot of
one is
reminiscing
allowed
to
to
do.
die anymore, okay, guys? Like, no more deaths, because
Mhm.
Ooh, that's a tall order.
we're doing it. No deaths.
Yeah, Janus is very dead set against deaths
Yeah.
in general. So
By the way,
Make a contract.
Elyswen is like very, very defensive of Avizay today for some reason. Just inexplicably is like keeping an arm over him at all times.
Okay, so here's our plan for the day, for the evening, maybe tomorrow too, depending on how long the talk with Adari goes. We talk with Adari. We're gonna ask her about what's going on, how we can help, I guess, and then we're gonna go to the docks and we'll go to the docks and get take inventory on what we have available. That was more Alveryn's thing, but now that I'm thinking, it might be good to see if there's anything useful that we can use for the group now. Also, are we associating ourselves with Vox Libertatis? I mean, for a while it was like a thought of it being a group name because we were with them, but now I realize, like, when you said it, like, we don't really want to step on anyone's toes, and it just kind of hit me that we're not really a part of anything. But what are we trying to do?
Well, the whole point of Vox Libertatis is to not step on people's toes, to make it so people's toes don't need to be stepped on. The whole point is improving the welfare of the people of this country. What Valens is doing is not what, it's a perversion of the goal. Violence was never something that was supposed to be part of the tool set.
Gulp.
I'm just wondering, like, who are we, right? We're just for people, not looking at Malik, like looking at Katarina and Elyswen and Janus, like,
if I may ask, the games here, the street rats, they're the other side of this conflict. What do they want?
What does every underground criminal organization want? More power, more money, more markets to get both, more of both power and money. The jackals are not the jackals are uncommon only in the amount of power that they seem to have, but their motivations and their actions are sadly not uncommon. And not just in Illyria, but in every nation.
Wait, are you saying that do the jackals have operations outside of Illyria? Then
I did not say that, but it is possible. I mean, chances are they are not getting all of their contraband just from Illyria.
Who's at the head of the jackals? Do you know?
Well, I know of her name, but very few people have accurate descriptions. But the name that is given is Bloody Rusonia. Sister to Smiling Rania, which Ox, you.
I heard that story.
Well, you were there.
No, that was
No.
Peg.
When
Peg was there.
no, you were there when we freed Peg. Lucas Palace
Oh,
mentioned that connection.
right. Thank you for reminding me. What was the name, Zach?
Bloody Auxsonia. And
Did you cut out there, Zach?
No.
Oh, okay. Sister of Smiling Rania?
yep.
Remind me, Malik, it's been a while and we've done a lot of things. Was there anything significant about her that she's with the jackals, I guess? Sounds like it.
Well, she didn't make the jackals. From what information I could find, she didn't make the jackals. She took them over. Showed up one day and met with some of the, I believe, leaders, members of the jackals, among others. And she earned her name. She was the only one to leave that meeting alive, and by all accounts, the scene was bloody.
Did the jackals follow her out of shared interests or out of fear?
Hard to say. Certainly, probably both.
So we need to... If we want to stop the jackals, we have to find her and stop her.
I would say it's accurate to say that the jackals were not quite so powerful, nowhere near as powerful, before she took the reins. But finding her is, well, even finding any information about her is difficult.
Okay, Elyswen, you didn't meet him, but Sam was with our group. He had this brilliant idea. I don't know if it was on purpose, but he was actually part of the jackals. And so he had some like inside knowledge. What if, we might not have the time for it though, but if one of us try to impersonate
Are you?
one of the jackals, we could find out information. But no one, we have to, yeah, I don't know.
Are you asking me to pose as a street thug?
No, I was saying that Sam had a great idea. Like, he did it. And you just hadn't met him. But
You don't have to talk around the issue. I think I know what you're driving at.
you are roguish. You're pretty good at
This is true, but I'm also quite identifiable
Don't you have magic that
in
can, like,
Illyria.
change your appearance? Somebody has that. Looks like Katarina.
I have the
Nice.
ability. I have the ability to change my appearance into one of non-appearance, but beyond that,
Oh, invisible. Even better!
I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea. I would just caution that
If
there are intricacies to such things, and that I can't just walk into wherever. There's
No,
bound to be
no.
some sort of process
No.
to
I was
getting
just
involved.
I was just saying that was one way we could find out more would be to.
I would be more than happy
infiltrate them.
I would be more than happy to follow them, to watch them, and I'd be willing to infiltrate, but that sort of thing does take time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, if we want to get started on it, I wouldn't be opposed.
It could be fun.
I could
You
see what I could
wicked
do with that
smile
too.
across
Yeah, I
Elyswen's
know.
face.
I
That thought had occurred to me.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Are you going for infiltration or
Well, we're trying to figure out more
the
about her.
stealthy? Mm-hmm.
So we need to figure out who knows her, or who would know her.
Mm-hmm.
Because my guess is she's not walking around town.
Well, the common foot thug of the jackals is not going to know anything. The best bet is if we can find whoever this Celis person is.
Celis?
Oh yeah.
There is
What?
one
Okay.
matter
What?
before we go too far.
What?
Malik, does Adari even want us involved in this?
What do you mean?
I mean, I wasn't there, but I remember a pretty stern talking to last time we tried to get violently interested in this conflict.
Well, yes, she doesn't want violence if it can be avoided at all costs, but you also brought Faye back from the whatever ruins you went to, and that has proved invaluable to her. Of course she wants your help.
Well, but how does she want our help? I mean, it's worth talking to her, I guess, is what I'm saying.
That's what we're on our way to do.
Fair enough. So maybe wait to make a decision?
Yes.
So
Who
we
is
have
this?
Good idea.
Celis? Let me write that down in my journal. How do you spell it? Can you
Cellus.
type it? Or see.
Janus, there is something else that occurs to me.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Who's Celis? Oh, the top.
Someone that got name dropped during the Lucas fight that potentially Lucas answered to.
Oh, yeah, that was, he like shouted it about
We
something.
originally thought he might have been the leader of the Jackals, but we now know that to be incorrect.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Elyswen, go ahead. You're asking Janus something. Right.
Yeah, sorry. It just seems odd to me that out of all the organizations that have failed in Illyria, there's not... I mean... It seems odd that there would be one group that succeeded where others failed. And I almost wonder, I hesitate to ask in a public place, but could it be that they have influence somewhere they shouldn't? And if so, could we maybe root out that influence?
Well, I guess Alveryn, and there's like a little bit of I don't know, like a pained wince when he says his name, and another of his our friends, Grot and Peg by name. When I first met them, it was to help rescue some captives who were being kept in the sewers by the jackals. Among those prisoners was Valens, which I've mentioned. But there was also... taking back into ancient history of my notes.
Oh yeah, there was that lady who was like the wife of a...
There was...
Ionia and Tanisha Barda, Aurelia Zanara, Xenia, Anatolia.
Yes.
Enya, wasn't it?
There was a among others, one woman who was where is she? The wife of a High Magister, obviously the son of Decimus Sylvian, the Bardanes, Tunisia, or the daughter of Tunisia Barda, and a Senia and Etolia, who, one, obviously a magister, control over the courts, a powerful and influential merchant, who could give them inroads into the port, a prominent member of Savaria who needed to be silenced, and a smith who was being held to blackmail his brother, who is also being held somewhere. And although not Senia is not entirely sure why she was being held, actually. But if that answers the question, I think they absolutely have influence that they shouldn't have.
And that was just one instance, correct?
Aye.
So there's...
The question is, how far does that influence extend? Which, while I don't agree with Valen's methods, I can't doubt that, or I can't deny that his arguments have some merit with how the situation here in Savaria has turned from bad to worse, and a great deal of that has been marked by apparent apathy from the governing body.
Who's the most influential family in Savaria, or person?
Currently, I suppose that would be Decimus. Most of the wealthier families have, shall we say, located themselves elsewhere.
So there's not really a senator that rules this city, right? I'm from here, sort of, but
there's a governor, but he currently spends most of his time in the capital and not actually in Savaria.
I was just thinking that if I was thinking like a jackal, and they've probably kidnapped other people, right, to keep influence over others. Who would you kidnap? Would be family members of those in power. So they wouldn't really want to go, that person wouldn't want to go to the military, because the military might be slow and it might risk their family member. But I just feel like we're same patterns all over again.
Well, consider the perspective of someone who has a loved one being held. Who would you go to? Who would you go to and feel confident that your cry for help would not come back to Jackal's ears and then endanger the one that they hold?
Maybe a priest.
I suppose, but what is a priest going to do?
Exactly.
They don't know truth to them until they feel so bad about what they're doing.
Well, that's what I mean. Is what power in this nation would you go to? In the military, or in the city guard, in the bureaucracy, in the courts, and feel utmost confidence that the Jackals didn't own that person, or that whatever you said wouldn't find its way back.
This is what I was thinking, that maybe we should go to a temple or something, and maybe there's a priest there that maybe someone has reached out in confidence. We need to find out some information.
I wonder if Janus could use his powers at court to find out who has someone being held.
Mm-hmm.
Janus, you are quite adept when it comes to higher society and the ways that you're supposed to conduct yourselves.
Look around, see what I can find out.
And I can assist.
I can help with that as well. I have experience with politics.
Okay. I still think a temple's a good idea. Just as a cleric. What you don't think
That's
think
no shaking.
Oh, okay.
I know what you, Jess, are
It
trying
makes
to do.
sense though, right? Like who would you
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
and of
I
course
get
they
what
couldn't
you're
do
I
anything
can see
about it, right? They're just friendly clerics or whatever and
Well,
Or
and
monks.
you know, it's a good lead for Ox to track down too.
Mm-hmm. I need to go check out some religion stuff anyway, so
I almost forgot to mention, Janus, I sent that second letter to Senator Scipio like you asked me to. Maybe
yes,
2
thank
weeks
you.
back.
Any response?
Not yet, but
Okay.
the roads have not been the most safe to the capital lately.
Okay.
why?
Well, the conflict with the jackals has spread into the countryside.
No.
Does it spread to other cities?
Are people dying because of them?
Yes. I thought I had made that clear when we talked earlier.
I was just wondering if it was
Valens has assembled something of a militia of folk who are willing to take matters into their own hands. And, well, it's what the jackals may be powerful, but they don't outnumber the populace of a city. Despite their inexperience with combat, they make up for it with numbers, and that always makes things bloody.
What if we join Valens, but help steer him to do it in a better way, to like catch the jackals rather than.
I suppose it's a try, but he's almost as hard to find as any jackal safe houses are. Out of necessity, of course, he's kind of a big target. He's turned into something of a almost a leader of a street gang himself, though of course that is not accurate, but
Not missing many hallmarks.
I suppose that's true. If nothing else, his goals remain altruistic, at least as far as I know.
All right, let's go to Adari. We should go.
We are almost here.
Great. As we're walking. All right.
Yep.
Where did we walk to?
You walked to just south of Sylvian Manor, kind of down the main thoroughfare, but then down another road and a somewhat smaller manor. As you walk up, it's obviously the house of someone who is wealthy, but it's not a massive house. This is probably not where they live permanently, or at least like long term. And as you approach, he just kind of almost in a joking, kind of condescending manner, like sweeps his arm as if to like present this manor. Behold, the state of Senator Claudius Melissus, our benevolent benefactor. And he rubs me the wrong way, but to be fair, to be perfectly honest, he has proved to be a valuable ally to Vox Libertatis, and one that we have to thank you to thank for. And he gestures to you guys, and then stops, comes back to Katarina and Alveryn. It was a connection Adari was able to make, and a relationship she could build. Thanks to Faye's connections. So the senator isn't here, but he has graciously allowed Adari to borrow the residence while she's trying to calm things down here.
Let's go in.
He walks up to the door and he knocks in a irregular pattern that seems a little too intentional to just be accidental. And then there's a brief pause, and then you hear the sliding of bolts, and then the door opens.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a woman standing there, not Adari. Where? Melly, it's just Malik, and of course, some friends, trusted friends. And the woman just kind of nods, and the door swings open. And Malik steps inside. The house is, you can see, you step in, there's an entry area that quickly narrows into a hall, and one side there's stairs that lead up, and then on either side there's openings that lead to other rooms, and you can see where those other rooms look like sitting rooms. There's chairs and looks like low couches in there, but they're covered with canvas to keep dust off of them. Adara usually likes to be upstairs in the study. Follow me. And he heads upstairs. Leads you down a short hallway, knocks on a door, and you hear a woman's voice. Enter. And I hope that's you, Malik. And Malik opens the door. Well, who else would it be? Sitting in the room, you see Adari. She has, she looks the same as when you last met. Maybe a little nicer clothes, but a little travel worn. And she seems not exhausted, but she seems a little tired. She's got papers in front of her that she seems to have been poring over. She kind of stands up and rolls her neck and shoulders a little bit. Well, you have good timing. I needed the break. Been staring at these papers for far too long. Seems there's a new face since we last met. Auxsonia, it's good to see you. Janus, Elyswen, I think it was. And I'm afraid we haven't met. As he looks at you, Katarina. Katarina, pleasure to meet you. I'm Adari Heliot, and I'm, well, trying to sort out this mess. Where's Alveryn was his name, correct?
Friend is no longer with us.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that.
He'll be missed.
There's this kind of long, drawn out starts to get a little awkward of like, what do you say after that? And then Malik, Dari, I assume that you, well, I was coming to talk to you to let you know that Aux and Elyswen and Janus Katarina were back in Savaria, so they're back. I gave them a brief update on the state of Savaria, but I think they have more questions that you'd probably be better at answering. Of course. Sit down. Feel free to sit down. Are any of you hungry, thirsty, anything you need?
We ate just a little bit ago.
Okay. And she's kind of standing, and she kind of leans back against the desk that she had been sitting at. So, how? Well, we'll save that. We'll save that question for later. But what do you need to know, or what do you want to know? What questions do you have?
Do you have any leads on the Jackal's possible hiding places or people in charge that we can try to track down to turn in? Is the military supportive? If we turn them in, that stuff would actually get done?
They are, fortunately, Valens and his militia have made it difficult to find surviving members of the Jackals, and the few that are turned into the Legion invariably somehow find their way out of the custody of the Legion.
What? How? What? No.
Yep.
There's a reason to infiltrate the military. Is there the possibility that there are soldiers on the inside that are interested in protecting the Jackals?
It's very possible, unfortunately. The longer this conflict drags on, the more and more the depth of the Jackal's influence is revealed. But I'm trying everything I can, working with the people of the city, working with the leaders of the various communities, working with the Centurion that you briefly made friends with. I believe he locked some of your friends in prison, Ox.
That was before me.
Grot was still in the party.
Yep.
Grot was still. Oh, it was. Okay.
Alvyn and
That's why
Grot.
this is
Or
so
so
hard
some
right
of
now.
your friends.
This is
Malik,
so
he'll
hard
just
to
say to
try
Malik.
to keep. Yeah, this is hard to keep track because it's like.
Well, that's what happens when you guys retire characters
I'm sorry.
so fast.
Yeah, we didn't know it was gonna be.
That was a good
this.
episode.
Yeah. That's
Mr.
messy.
Miffler gets
Mr.
jail
Miffler.
time.
That was
Classic.
Fantastic.
Classic. So she addresses that to Malik then. Thank you for reminding me.
Has anyone here in this room, Elyswen, Janus, have you ever met Valens?
I think I might have briefly. But if I did, it was... I don't think I went. No. Did Elyswen go with Alvyn?
Yes.
Okay, that's right, yeah. It very briefly.
Great! Because here's where we're at. We have no leads without bait. We have no bait unless we make bait. So if you know how to look like him, we could set a trap.
I don't know if trapping the leader of a militant resistance is such a great idea.
That sounds like exactly the sort of thing to incite violence.
No, I mean, like, if you just walked around as Bardanes and
What
in a
until
safe
someone tried
area,
to.
you knew, like, maybe you alerted the military about it. They were in on it.
The military doesn't like Valens at all either.
But we're trying to get, like, we would tell them that it's not him. But we're trying to get the jackals to resolve things.
Because the military is all for alternative justice.
And I do also fear that might accomplish several things that we don't want. Namely, in my mind, is
Yeah,
my premature decapitation. But
it's true. We don't want you endangered. What do we do, Adari?
A difficult question to answer. This is a very tangled mess, and every step needs to be carefully thought out.
Okay. Well, what step would you suggest?
Well, whatever his faults may be, Valens is, in his own mind, acting for the good of the common citizen of Savaria and Illyria as a whole. He's only ever attacked people or known associates of the Jackals. So, perhaps with your history, you might be able to meet with him, talk with him.
Just Elyswen.
I haven't been.
Elyswen, do you know sending? Or can you...
Cleric spell.
I can cast sending. Oh, he would just think it would be a trap. I don't know how... What... Also, out of character, I literally have no idea, guys. Like, I'm trying to think so hard. But I don't know what we should do.
I do have friendly eyes among the people of the city that I always try to keep apprised of where Valens is, but it's difficult. He moves around constantly, and well, the people that follow him are extremely loyal.
Okay.
Is there a place he would go to occasionally where we could leave him a message for him to find?
I don't know. I could try.
do you have any idea where he is now?
No, unfortunately, no. But if you had some kind of message, I could try circulating it around. Chances are it would get to the Jackals too, and the military, and anyone else who's interested in the events in Savaria.
Let's not do that.
Well, if we have sending, there's a possibility that could work.
That's true. You'd have to... I have to be familiar with him, and I've never met him. Even if you looked like him, I wouldn't... Well, yeah. Like, I'd have to actually see... Let me look up sending specifically. Pretty
Was
sure.
there a way that I could approach this sending?
Is
Malik,
it-
did you ever meet him? You had to have, right?
Oh, yes. I've talked with him many times.
Janus,
I mean, I was there when we freed him from the sewers.
can you make a potion or a spell item of sending? Like a stone, like a flip stone.
Ascending
flipstone?
Wow.
It's
With a
something like that.
touchscreen.
Can we get a cell stone?
You
A
just
cell stone.
hang ups after 25.
imagine something like that.
That would be amazing if you could do that.
See here.
I have to be familiar with them, so I'm not familiar with him. Never met him. But if you could make something that Elyswen could use, then Elyswen could try to contact him. Or Malik. Malik would be an even better option because he'd be like, hey, this is Malik, and no explanation. Like, I'm Elyswen, and I met this one time with this one person at this one place. End of message. You know, like, if it was like, this is Malik, trying to get a hold of you. Any
To make
other
a potion, that would run about. How strong of a spell is the sending? I've never used it, so I don't know.
It's pretty powerful. It's like on a scale of 1 to 5. 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't make that into a I can't do that then. It'd be too much magic to cram into a potion. It would.
Could you make an item?
Do I have detect thoughts? Let me see if I can detect your
Won't be
thoughts
cheap.
and become familiar with him that way.
Let me see what I can.
It's like the way around.
While we're considering that, what has been successful? And I mean, the valence problem aside, ultimately, bringing these jackals to justice is what have we had success with?
Really quick. Valence is like recruiting people to like fight for his militia, right?
Probably, but
If
not
you-
like on a banner.
If you call it that, I suppose. It's
I
less of
couldn't think of another
recruiting
word.
and more like the citizens are flocking to him.
I really want Elyswen to be a jackal and part of Valence's thing and not either.
And part of the military. Just sign up. Recruit.
Just start signing
All
every
I'm
sign up sheet.
saying is if he's able to have such a profound influence and rally so many people, surely there has to be a way that he contacts them, that he spreads the word out amongst them for where to be
True.
and when.
True.
So whatever that is, if we could be there,
Mm-hmm.
we might be able to figure out where he might end up, or find a way to send a message back.
Yes. Yeah. The militia, what it has in numbers, it lacks in discipline typically. So it's easy to tell when they're mobilizing to go do something. But Valens is seldom there, or if he is unpredictable. So
Right, but when they mobilize to do something, they have to have gotten that instruction somehow.
Mm-hmm.
somehow
Mm-hmm.
their
I see what
We
you're
can
saying.
their
find
network
out
is
how.
so
Uh-huh.
yeah.
If we can
There-
find out how, we might be able to use it. Is all I'm saying.
Be a part of that chain of sending.
Information.
Are you thinking that we co-opt his messages,
We're
or
in the
that we
group
send
text.
someone in, or
I don't know what I'm suggesting. It's just
it's a good.
he has to be able to communicate with people
Mhm.
somehow. So if we can figure out how he is communicating, we might be able to use that to get to him.
So maybe that in itself is a worthwhile endeavor.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
typically messengers. The problem is his militia are common folk. So who do you tell apart. They don't wear uniforms. They don't slink around in the shadows, obviously looking like they're doing something wrong.
We could go
Let's
to
make
the
it
I'm
easier
not
to
roads.
saying it's
demonstrate.
We could
I'm
go.
not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying it's difficult to find out who is and who isn't.
We could go to the road between here and the capital because the jackals are. It said that that road is dangerous.
Yes.
So why don't we go there and be ready and
That's
that
a
is
bit
the,
reckless.
it's the easiest way to get one though. I don't know. I think that we can handle it. Janus
get a-
can run for miles and
I
block things and
It's an interesting idea. If there was a threat big enough to the city,
all
Valens would certainly be with his militia to go confront it. And I
I have an
have
idea.
some troubling reports that there's some kind of encampment in the Silver Forest on the road to Arabnaris.
Oh, great.
What kind of encampment?
The kind of encampment that could choke a city into submission.
On whose side
Yeah.
of the issue?
Well, certainly not Valens. This isn't his cutting off the flow of goods and supplies to the city is gonna hurt the people of the city just as much as it'll hurt the jackals. That's not the
James.
kind of scorched earth policy that Valens would use.
That's your forest, right? That's where we met you.
Yeah.
So
That's
He is also the Fey Lord, I think.
He is.
in name.
you in name. Wait.
And
so,
in
If you were the first
to
person to
be
put it down on
determined
paper,
in name.
Perhaps it's time to show it in deed.
wait. Do you have a way to get to the Feywild to get help?
Potentially. If there's an encampment in the forest, I can at the very least, go and check it out very easily.
Would the Fey help you? Else.
Potentially, and probably not without a price.
Okay, what price would they need? Something up front or after?
did he have a
It
first
really
born?
The Fae being up front.
As in before
It all
they
depends
help
on who you go
us.
talk to. It depends on the type of payment and what what their involvement would be.
Okay, so what we should do is find out where this encampment is, go to the Feywild, get some help, and
Do we know how big the encampment is?
you said big
Enough to stop
Yeah.
traffic.
Mhm.
Give me a few weeks to get some information.
I don't think we have a few weeks.
What I'm saying is that if you guys focus on Valens, I'll focus on the encampment, kind of split our attentions there.
Well, I think we might be able to get two birds with one stone.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
If we move on this encampment sooner than later, like
How's Adaria look at this whole moving on and military talk and involving the Fae and all that?
Well, at the mention of the Fae, there's some bewilderment and like a quick glance to Malik, who just kind of shrugs. And then
This is perfect. This is our play. This is what we need to do. We need to go towards the Silver Forest and try to figure out where their encampment is, and then go to the Fae.
I don't necessarily think going to the Fae
Who else is going to help
should
us?
be our first plan.
I don't think going to the Fae and the Feywild is a good idea, but
I do think
there's
scouting
some Fae in that
what's going on
forest.
is a good.
There's pixies, dryads. There's Fae in the forest that they know the forest very well.
And you
I
are
could talk to them.
You are the ruler of that forest, right? You're the king.
Not yet.
Disputed.
No,
Not yet. Why not?
not yet.
How?
If I remember correctly,
I remember.
There's still the problem with the cold one.
Okay.
And that's why.
So do we need to go do that?
The other Fae,
first?
if I can establish myself as a force of power in the forest, I can rightfully claim that title. However, there is the matter of the cold one.
Hence why we need a library.
I think this is going to be a matter of going to the Feywild itself to figure out that information.
You figured out
I've
where
looked into libraries.
Didn't you figure out
I'm
where the
very
cold one
surprised.
was? Like, it was an area? It was a certain mountain?
Wasn't it
or
like on a
something?
mountain in that forest?
Yeah, it was.
Oops. Here, I'll give you the
The map of the world.
overmap.
Okay, it was the Arturia
Antari Mountains.
and
Ari Peaks.
Peak.
Yeah, he's in there.
Okay, so why don't we establish your rule by going and defeating this cold one?
But again, that's going to take time that we don't have.
Maybe we do have it. And then we go, so we go down here. We follow our, let's see.
Like a week's travel on its own, right?
Yeah.
Or what if you guys go? So the
Oh, look,
encampment is right here, right?
Oh, it's only 20 feet. You guys are good. It's right outside.
We're there right now.
So the encampment is on this road here, correct?
Yes.
If you guys go to the encampment, scout out and get information, I can go to the Feywilds, which I believe was off the road about here-ish. Ask around, see what I can find out about the cold one. And then we'll meet back up and go from there.
Why not go together? I'd like to see
Time.
the Feywild.
Time is of the issue. Although I don't think we should send 3 and 1. I think we should send 2 and 2.
I'd like to go to the Fae with Janus.
You think that 2 of you are going to be able to make it all the way there?
I don't think so. I think
Not for
the
that's a bad
encampment?
idea. I think that's not safe. I think
No,
we need to go together. Okay, wait. What if we go scout out?
Let's
I think first,
perhaps let's deal with the issue at hand.
What this encampment is. Like, how big is it? How many people do they have there?
That would be something that you would be going there to find out.
So we have to go to encampment to find out how big it is. If it's
What-
too big for help, we need to go to the Feywild to ask to get help. But we can't get help probably from them. In
Adari, what is your idea of what we should do about this encampment? Do you want us to, set it alight and perhaps escalate violence, or is that not what you're after?
we might retaliate
Well,
the city.
violence is a last resort. My hope is that you could find this encampment, get an accurate scout of it, and be able to take that information to a garrison commander and make sure that the proper authorities do things that they need to be doing. My worry is that this in Savaria being the state that it's in, it's not altogether unsurprising that things may not be coming to Aramnaris from Savaria. So others may not know what could be going on in the roads south of us.
You think they're wandering into a trap?
Or they don't understand the state that the city is in. It's not just cut off goods, it cuts off information as well.
I see.
I mean, the ship that you came in on is one of very, very few that have come to the city.
Janus, I think you were onto something where we could use the Fae in the forest without going to the Feywild. Because there are pixies and stick people on wolves. If you defeat this cold one, will they follow you?
No matter what the cold one is, more a matter of he's the only one who would argue against my rule. They don't necessarily follow them, whatever they are, but they know whatever I try to impose as rule, he would fight against.
Oh, so we don't even need to go confront him. You just say that you have rule.
That's always a
And
good idea
then
with
he'll
the
come to us if we have
That's
to.
very fey of you.
Right? It makes sense, right?
I think jumping to the Fae here is a little bit
hasty.
hasty, rash.
No, no, no.
I'll see if I can talk to them for
The
information.
first thing we need to do is figure out the specifics of this camp.
Or to decipher where Valens is and figure out what he even has on his agenda.
There's no
Well,
leads at Valens.
We can still kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. You can reconnoiter this encampment or whatever it is, report it. I can make sure that the information of this camp makes it to Valens. With the state that the city's in, he'll have no choice but to go there. And certainly with as big a threat as this is, he will probably go himself. I can't be for sure, but it would be my guess.
And then we could be there waiting for him.
And
Perfect opportunity to finally kill him. Sorry.
that is the last thing that we need to happen.
That was out of character.
Mhm, mhm. So is that our plan?
We need to scout the
Yeah.
encampment.
So tomorrow we leave? With
Might be better to
Sammy?
do it at night.
Well,
Are
I
we
need to
leaving-
rest. If I'm gonna have my toppest spells, I want to make sure that we go in there with a full cleric.
We also shouldn't. We should go with something quick and light, and not bring something that we can't leave behind.
Should we maybe take a couple of days to prepare?
What do you need to prepare over a couple days?
It might be worthwhile to see what we could glean from the city, just preliminarily.
Well,
Take a few days, but don't take more than that.
yeah. I mean, we don't need. Malik, how long have you been here, Malik? You've been here this whole time. Malik's been here.
Oh, yes, mostly. I've gone to a few other cities to find support for Vox Libertatis and what we're trying to do. But most of my time has been here.
And if we have everything that Malik has gleaned, and we still have lots of dead ends, I think that this is our only lead. And I think that we could leave as early as tomorrow, unless there was something that we needed to make before this.
Oh,
No, I agree with that. I just think we should probably go on foot.
There's one spell that I'd like to try to learn.
Or on horses. Well, I don't know.
well, I
One
don't
spell.
know that
Horses
I
make
have.
too much noise.
I don't know that I have
Go
a whole lot
fast.
more information than I've already said or Dari has told you. And then kind of Adari just like smiles at him. Malik, you do yourself a disservice, and she turns to then talk to you for. Malik here has become a real pillar of the community. I'm sure he'll be able to find something in a few days. Well, I'll do what I can, I suppose. No promises, though. Well, Adari kind of stands up from leaning against the desk. Malik, you demonstrate once again your impeccable taste in friends. I'm glad that you're all here. I'm glad you're willing to help, and I really appreciate that. People of this city really appreciate it. No, the people of this country. And Katarina, I'm happy to meet you.
The pleasure's mine.
And I wish you all the best of luck and fair winds. I have a few things that I need to see to. And you have a long journey ahead of you, so I don't want to hold you up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll leave.
Okay. Malik turns to leave as well. And he's gonna, he walks out down the hallway, down the stairs, passes that same woman who opened the door. Thank you, Melia. She just kind of nods. And he walks out the door. I'm assuming you're all following him.
Yep.
Indeed.
Melia.
Well, I suppose I'd better get off and see what information I can, useful information I can find.
Nope, sorry.
No, what were you going to say?
Could I accompany you with that?
It's probably best if I go alone. People here are justifiably wary of strangers, and with me, they'll probably talk freely, maybe, but I'm not so. They have a tendency to be pretty tight-lipped with anyone they don't trust implicitly. So I appreciate the offer, though.
Understandable under the circumstances.
Though, since you're preparing for another potentially dangerous journey, I will mention that there's a certain what was his name? Very strange little man who's came to the city maybe a month or so ago. I've met him. I went to his shop once and talked to him. He said, I don't know how we got onto the topic, but he mentioned that he knew you, Elyswen. I'm trying to. I think it was Bjorn. I think was his name.
Lord, yes.
You called him small?
Oh, I mean, he's not terribly large for a human. But he has, for all of his oddities, he does have some potent things in his shop. Perhaps something there might be useful.
He didn't sell you the harp, did he?
I didn't see a harp.
Well, I guess he already sold it to somebody.
Oh.
Anyway.
He just has this look of this look that says, "You just bought 7." Oh, no, I'm just messing. No, he has a look that is like, "Should I be worried?" And then changes to, "You know what? It's not my problem."
He knows Bjorn well enough, obviously.
I think anyone has even a brief conversation with Bjorn gets an understanding of maybe don't ask too many questions.
Or any at all.
Or any at all. Okay.
I would
Well,
like to
that-
speed run go to get Sammy, or not Sammy.
Okay.
Get the inventory for.
Okay, well, you're probably. I mean, if you're wanting to move the wagons, you're definitely going to need Sammy to do that.
We're not moving the wagons. It's to go in if there was anything, because I don't know what Alveryn had in there.
I know exactly what
And I
is
know
in
that
there.
no one knows. So if we go with Katarina, then Katarina can decide what stuff is there that needs to be taken if we take anything. Otherwise, we'll just leave it.
I mean, this would be like horrible cynic in me talking. This would be a great time to do some gang war profiteering, but
I mean, you'd basically be selling their own swords back to them because
Oh
all
my
of those
gosh.
swords are ones you took from Dead Jackals.
Mhm.
Amazing.
The thing is, we already sold all those.
You did, so you already did your
Mhm.
war profiteering.
There's only
Well,
one
we really-
thing in the wagon.
We need to go to the wagon. Can we go to the
Only
wagon?
one wagon.
Can we go
is
to
it
the
like
wagon?
600 pounds of adamantine?
300 pounds, but yep.
Which is probably enough to buy yourself a small army.
Hey, we didn't think
Maybe
about
we
that option.
should.
If you find someone who will buy it.
Okay, so can we quickly say that we go do that just so that Katarina knows what's in there if she wants it?
Yes.
Okay. We go.
You find 2 well-crafted wagons, a portable forge, and an obscene amount of an extremely rare metal.
And then we go back.
Probably get some stronger window tint on this thing, shouldn't we?
Isn't there
There's
a
a
book
safe.
of warning in there? Yeah, there's a
There's a
safe.
safe.
I forgot.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know if we did it.
And if they try to pick it up,
Yeah. So whatever you want, Noah, from there, that's you got it. Now, we go back to the manor and rest. I
Okay.
vote to rest, so I can prepare my spells. Anybody opposed?
nope.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Sweet.
Okay. And as rude as it might sound, that's actually a pretty good place to end.
Okay, as long as it's we get to the next morning, so I can prepare my spells.
Yes, we get to the next
Okay.
morning. You can prepare your spells.
And how
In the
long were we
night.
planning to stay in the city? Like,
We could leave.
were we leaving the next day, or
We-
I missed that part?
We could,
Probably
unless
leave
you need to
today.
prepare something, like make something.
I mean, yeah, I'd already said take a few days, but don't take too long.
If we spend like a day or two in town, that'd be great for me.
Okay.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay, then I will prepare some
Is
sendings.
there a library in
Let's
Soar?
get some prep
There
work in
is,
before we
there
head off on a
is,
dangerous
there
fight.
This is great for me too.
I'm gonna go to the temple.
I'm going to the library.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to the library because it'll be a nice, quiet place to try to write down some spells.
There you go.
I'm going to go to the library and do some research.
Okay, so 1 day for sure. For sure. How many days do you need, Janus?
Maybe 2?
Okay.
I vote we just take 2 days.
2
The
days. sounds
situation
good.
can't change that much in 2 days.
Ah,
Usually how long it takes to get between places.
That's.
Don't laugh like that.
I mean, look what we've done in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good point.
This
Yeah.
whole everything.
2 days.
Okay.
I guess that's right. It's only been like what, a month and a half or 2 months, and like a lot of that time was spent on the seas, just kind of killing time.
Yeah.
you guys
Yep.
did have a lot of travel time.
The stuff that's actually happened has been incredibly condensed within very short time blocks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I just had a wonderful thought. Zach, I messaged you something.
Yes, I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it.
Okay. I have an addendum.
Oh boy.
Are we going to play out the 2 days, Zach, or talk with you about what we do for 2 days?
What would you prefer?
Because it might be easier if we, or maybe not easier, but if we message Zach of what we want to do, it could save time. If we wanted to be like, let's leave.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
All right, that sounds good to me.
So pick up on the 11th? Zach?
Uh-huh. Pick up on, yes, morning of the 11th.
Awesome. I'll message you, Zach, so it's easier to have it written down of what I do if we need to refer to it.
Okay.
Alveryn gets a sending every day that I have a free day. One day he will answer. I will not give up. Cool.
Okay, so Katarina, you're going to the library?
Yes.
I'm going to the temple. Any temple.
The Temple of Amriel, or
If there's any religious place in town, I'm going.
closest one is Temple of Amriel?
I'll go there. I can do some research. I'll message you though.
Get hit by any wagons recently?
That should be their tagline of like, come for healing.
I feel like that would be like fantasy RPG billboard. Hit by a wagon? We can help. Smith and Smith, like attorneys at law, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Hit by a wagon, though, in quotation.
A wagon.
Hit by a wagon? You can tell.
Twice in
Wagon
2
insurance
days.
fraud.
That's what. So Jacob, you weren't here for that.
Yeah.
We went to the Temple of Amriel, and Noah's character Alveryn was always like lying to this person. So they're just like, yeah, I got hit by a wagon, as he had like clear
Marius.
stab wounds on him.
I
you know?
literally, he took a friggin' like double-headed axe to the
Yes.
chest.
And so he was like, strange wagon, you know, like. And then did Zone of Truth like twice. It was great. Oh,
Yeah, he's
They had their
great.
snow wheels on.
There was a special weird love, not love, but hate relationship.
Camaraderie.
A weird I like you, but I'm never gonna admit it, and I'm just gonna pretend that I don't like you, kind of thing between Alveryn and Marius.
Yes.
I think Alveryn said, "See you again," you know, like when he said goodbye.
You're gonna have to tell Marius that Alveryn's gone.
Here's the thing: Aux is going. Aux never went into the Temple of Amriel, so it might not even. It's like ships passing, right? It's
In
like
the night. Yeah.
it's like two people that know
Janus,
things.
what are you doing?
I'm texting
If
that
it-
to you.
Okay. Secret stuff.
Mhm.
I just remembered. Can I roll to learn? What spell was it? Let me see here. I had it written down.
Thanks, Zach. This was fun
For what?
for GMing.
Oh, yeah.
I really do want to go get that cold one though, Jacob. Like, I
Mhm.
really want to go do that for you. Like, I'm so interested in what that could be.
Careful what you wish
I
for.
know, but like, you don't need. And then being like, oh, we don't need to go fight him. We just say that you're in charge. Allegedly. Oh, it's the best. It's the best. But you did that. You chose to do. That's great.
Mhm.